When you boil life down, everyone's looking for love. The question is, what kind of love? My grandma used to tell me when I was looking at boys, Steffi, you want to find love that puts on sneakers, the kind of love that walks the walk, not just talks the talk. I hope I'm not pregnant.
What? Thank you. Girl, you think you're pregnant? Are you feeling okay? Does Steve know? Oh, this is why we had to meet today, for lunch instead of later. Girl, don't worry about it. My paper can definitely wait.
Yeah? I don't want to go to the youth center alone, and you're always there for me. Will you come? I promise I'll let you work on your paper later, even if my whole world just got turned upside down.
Oh, Stephanie, I will definitely come, okay? So does Steve know? Ah, that little punk. You know, I'd be excited if it was anyone other than him. So I know you wanted to get married right out of high school and start a family, but...
But not with him. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I haven't told him anything, or my parents either. This is so frustrating. Just when I figure out what a jerk he is, just like you said all along, and I break up with him, this happens. I'm not ready for this. I just want to finish my senior year.
And you will, Stephanie, one way or the other. You know, if you're not pregnant, you should just come to college with me. We would have so much fun. I mean, who needs marriage anyway? From what I see in my family, Stephanie, it's best to just leave all this happily ever after for the books. In real life, it's nothing but a never-ending nightmare. You know, I know you say that college isn't your thing, but I don't want you to run out and marry some guy and, you know, end up in a messy divorce with a bunch of kids.
You're so positive. Well, what about you and Rob? Is that going anywhere?
Oh, girl, no way. We're just having fun. You know, if we lasted until the end of the semester, I would be surprised. You know, and I think we're already starting to get bored with each other. But he's just so cute. Yeah, so next semester it might be someone new, or it might be no one at all, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, I just don't want to date a guy who's gonna say he's gonna love me forever just to quit in like a month or two, you know? I don't even know if I could love forever. Whatever. I'm gonna be married to my career anyway. Look out, DC.
Well, if Rob's bored with Never a Dull Moment, Jolie, he doesn't deserve you anyway.
Yeah.
My appointment's in 15. Joe thinks we're going with me.
Girl, we're gonna get through this together. Is that old thing still bringing you luck?
Yeah. We'll see if it works today.
Listen, I'm always gonna be there for you, even if that thing doesn't work. Okay? Let's go.
Baby, I'm home. You ready to go? Our appointment's appointments in half an hour.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Are you okay? You look like you don't feel very well.
Jeffrey Lawson, I've been married to you for 5 years. I know what you were going to say. Yeah, I felt better, that's for sure. I just wish we didn't have to do this.
I can call them and tell them that we can't make it. I mean, they're the ones that wanted us to come in today instead. You sure you don't want to wait?
No, let's go. I want to get this over with.
Okay. Let's do it.
I'm so relieved I'm not pregnant.
And I'm happy for you too, Steph. But you know, there are a lot of other risks to having sex. Did you know a girl is 4 times more likely to get an STI than she is to get pregnant?
STI? What's an STI? Sounds familiar.
It's a sexually transmitted infection, right?
You're right.
I'm 4 times more likely to get a sexually
Transmitted infection.
Well, can I really get that? I thought you had to sleep around to get something like that. I'm not working the streets or anything.
If I told you almost 19 million people will get an STI just this year, would you still think they were so hard to get?
19 million people in 1 year? Where'd you get that number?
From the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control. You know, probably 19 million people didn't spend the whole year sleeping with a different person every night either. And probably some of them were in a relationship like you and only had one partner the whole year. But had they known the facts about STIs, I think they might have done things differently.
Differently? You mean they could have prevented themselves from getting STIs?
Yeah. Okay. All right, so let's see. See these guys back here? Another study says 1 out of every 4 sexually active teens has a sexually transmitted infection. So there's a pretty good chance that one of them is infected. Which one? Would you be able to tell?
So what are you saying? Never have sex?
Well, what kind of plans do you have for your future? Career goals, marriage, family? Because contracting an STI can seriously alter those plans. You know, as women, we really have to keep our goals in mind when we're faced with decisions that could make or break our future. Casual sex is one of those decisions. Look, I'm starting in class right now, a session with some other people, actually those guys included. It won't take more than 20 minutes and you both can find out everything you never wanted to learn about STIs. You want to come?
Yeah, sure. You're gonna help me with my paper later tonight, right?
Yes. Sure, we'll come.
Okay, great. Well, come on. Guys, let's go.
Let me ask you a question!
Hi, my name is Jen Collins. I'm a registered nurse, and I'm here to lead the session on STIs. Now, you guys are all here for various reasons. Some of you were recommended by your school nurse, some your youth pastor, and some of you for college health course credits. But regardless of your varying backgrounds, if you are sexually active, you are at risk for STIs. Now, I'm here to give you the facts so you can be more informed in your personal life. And the session will be packed with information that could change your future and that of your partners and friends, if you act on it. Before we continue, I want to take a moment to bring up the difficult subject of sexual abuse and rape. If you've experienced any kind of abuse, first know that you are not alone. And I'm here, and I would love to talk with you after the session. Or if you feel more comfortable, there are other resources for information and support that you can access by calling the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network or online at this website. Please don't go another day without talking to somebody. Okay, so before we get started, we have to define sex. What is it?
Yo, miss, you don't waste no time, do you?
Okay, Jerome, you tell me what's sex.
Good times.
Okay. Sex. There are 3 types of sex: vaginal, oral, and anal. Vaginal is penis to vagina. Oral is mouth to genitals, whether female or male. And anal sex is penis to anus or butt. None of it is considered safe sex. Now, some of you might worry about getting pregnant, and although that's a very serious concern, there are about 25 other concerns as well. You have chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, HIV, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, genital herpes, human papillomavirus, and trichomoniasis. They're just 9 of the more than 25 organisms now known to cause STIs, or sexually transmitted infections.
Be quiet, Steph. Try not to think about it. You could be worrying about nothing.
I don't know if I can handle what the doctor has to say.
I know. It could be tough if we don't like what Dr. Stone has to say, but I also know that we're going to get through this no matter what, okay?
Yeah. If I hadn't been such an idiot, we wouldn't have had to get through this.
According to a CDC study, there's a pretty good chance that one of you has chlamydia. All of you are sexually active, am I correct? Now, what does that mean for you? Well, first of all, you probably don't even know you have it because chlamydia rarely shows symptoms. Second of all, if you're female, you could end up infertile.
Yeah, but if we don't have any symptoms, it's less serious, right?
You might think, but no. Even without symptoms, chlamydia can cause serious internal damage. Up to 40% of untreated cases of chlamydia go on to develop pelvic inflammatory disease, or PID, which is an infection of the fallopian tubes. And about 12% of women develop infertility after just one episode of PID. And after their 3rd infection, up to half of women become infertile. Now, chlamydia is curable, but that won't keep you from getting it again, and any damage that may have occurred cannot be reversed. Chlamydia is just one of many STIs that has serious health risks but rarely causes symptoms. So that's why you'll hear me say it again and again. If you've had sex, and remember that includes oral sex, get checked.
Hey, whoa. Back up, miss. Don't worry, ladies. I read oral sex is safe.
May I ask where you read that, Jerome?
On the internet.
J-Man, it's called junk mail for a reason.
Well, perhaps that source was referring to safe in terms of preventing pregnancy, because most of the common STIs can be transmitted through oral sex. Gonorrhea causes sores or infection in the throat. Herpes causes blisters around the mouth and genitals, and syphilis causes sores in the mouth. HPV is a little bit more complicated. There are some types that cause warts on the vocal cords, mouth, and genitals, and other types, which have caused cervical, anal, and penile cancer, have now recently been associated with oral cancer. So don't think oral sex is safe.
But don't our bodies fight off infections better because we're young?
Not necessarily. Half of all STIs this year will be among young people, ages 15 to 24. And girls, the truth is, a teen cervix is not yet fully matured, so it's easier for you to get some infections.
Okay, but what are the chances of actually getting an STI?
Well, it's hard to say exactly. It depends on how many people you've had sex with and how many people each of them has had sex with. But I'm glad you asked because I have this really cool chart. Okay, if you've had sex with only one other person and they've had sex with only one other person, you've technically been exposed to 3 people. Now see what happens when it's just 4 partners each. Now add this stat to the equation. 1 out of every 4 sexually active teens and young adults will get an STI just this year. 1 in 4. Now see what happens when it's 10 partners each. Okay, each bag of candy has 1,000 pieces, and each piece represents a person in the United States who has contracted an STI today. Not next month, not next week, today. Just today. Grant, will you come up here and give me a hand with these? We're gonna pour them. And Jolie, will you count the empty bags? We're gonna have a little demonstration. Okay, as I hand you the bags, if you will pour them in here, and Jolie, if you'll count the empty ones.
One, 2, 22, 23, 26, 27, 50, 51, 52.
That's 52,000 people who contracted an STI today. Tomorrow, it'll be another 52,000 and another 52,000 the day after that. We'd all like to think that bad things can't happen to us, but with numbers like this, you have to be honest with yourselves. If you're sexually active, one of these people could be you. And that number comes from the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control. Had sex? Get checked.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Okay, but I use condoms.
Say again, Nick.
I mean, I use condoms. I mean, I can't get an STI if I use a condom, right?
Will you be absolutely straight with me, man to man? Use condoms all the time?
Yeah. No.
It was probably Nick, jerk.
Stephanie, stop. He lied to you.
Jolie tried to warn me. Life is so ironic, you know. When we were growing up, I was all about being a wife and mommy, having the big family. She wanted nothing to do with marriage. Thought it was cruel to bring children into the world the way it was. When she married Derek, I was so excited. I thought our families could be together. Our kids could be best friends, just like us. Now here we are, 5 years later. She has 2, and I...
Hey, well, it's Carly, 2 months. If we have a baby in a year or even in 2 years, they can still be best friends.
I know you want this just as much as I do, Jeff. But what are you going to say if they tell us it can't happen?
No. No, but I use condoms most of the time.
Unfortunately, it only takes one time to get an STI. And regarding condoms, they were originally in early prevention programs. They would say, practice safe sex, use a condom. And then it was adjusted to condoms offer safer sex. And then that term was shelved. Now it's condoms offer differing magnitudes of risk reduction. Put simply, they don't work all the time. So yes, it's better to have some risk reduction than none, but you still have a significant chance of getting infected with an STI even if you wear a condom.
Wait, I heard that condoms protect you 98% of the time.
Condoms were originally meant to prevent pregnancy, not STIs. So 98% is only a theoretical estimate of how well they would prevent you from getting pregnant if used perfectly. And studies are now showing that even when used all the time, condoms actually reduce your risk of pregnancy by about 85%. Condoms reduce your risk of HIV by 85%, chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis by about 50%, and those statistics are only true if you use the condom consistently and correctly. Now, you've heard me talk about HPV. It's a human papillomavirus. It's the most common acquired STI in the United States. It's acquired through skin-to-skin contact. In fact, 3/4 of women will get HPV by the time they're 50 years old. That's 3 out of 4 women. So condoms, at best, are going to protect you from HPV by only about 50%.
But what does HPV do to women?
Well, besides the possibility of genital warts, HPV is the cause of nearly all types of cervical cancer.
But isn't there a vaccine that can cure it?
No, it just prevents it, right?
You're close. The vaccine covers about 2 of 20 types of HPV that can cause cancer. And although those 2 account for 70% of the cancers in the US, the rest cause 30%, and they're not included in the vaccine. And like chlamydia, HPV rarely causes symptoms, so people can have it and never even have a clue. Some women only find out they've had an HPV infection when they go to the doctor for a Pap test.
Well, what's a Pap test? I've heard my mom talk about one.
A Pap test can detect cancer or abnormal cells in the cervix, which is the lower part of the uterus that opens into the vagina.
So if I get one of these Pap tests, will it check for all other STIs?
Good question, but no, there is no one single test that checks for all the STIs. And some, like herpes, are difficult to test for at all. Now, if you test positive for bacteria, you'll likely be treated with an antibiotic. But if it's a virus, it's a little more complicated. Your doctor will inform you of what to do.
Okay, well, you have my attention now, but what about my boyfriend? It's really hard if you can't tell if your boyfriend has one. I mean, he wouldn't even come to this class with me. What if he won't go get checked?
I understand these are some really difficult situations, and it's a difficult thing to test a guy because the tests aren't very accurate. A positive screening test means something for a guy, but a negative one isn't really an all clear. Bottom line, if you're a sexually active female under the age of 26, you need regular testing. If you test positive, both you and your partner probably need treatment. Talk to your partner about everything you've heard here today. It's because people don't have symptoms that they don't get checked, and then they continue to spread infections and diseases. So I can't emphasize it enough. If you've had sex,
Get checked.
please.
So what are some symptoms that you could have?
Common STI symptoms include abnormal discharge, sores, blisters, and warts on the genitals or mouth if you've had oral sex, burning sensation while urinating, swollen testicles, fever, intense itching, lower abdominal pain in females, which can indicate pelvic inflammatory disease, which can lead to infertility and even death.
So tell us, Miss Collins, you didn't crowd us into this room to tell us the problem. You do have a solution. How do we keep from getting an STI?
Well, if you want to avoid any chance of getting an STI, you have to stop having sex and any genital contact.
Wait, you were saying that we need to stop having sex?
Yes. Think of it like this. It's a secondary virginity. You choose to remain abstinent until you can commit to a lifelong relationship with just one person. I'm not joking. Before you say no way, think about this for a minute. What kind of plans do you have beyond today? Like this moment? Grant? Kayla? Jolie? Because contracting an STI, especially one without a cure, can seriously threaten any future plans that you have, whether that be career, family, marriage, or just living a simple, ordinary life. So, unlike what we see on TV, in real life, people make decisions they have to live with for the rest of their lives. So you can count the cost now, stop having sex, be sure to avoid any infections, or you can roll the dice, count the cost after.
So we'll be like the only secondary virgins on the planet?
Not really, Maya. A CDC study has actually said that if you choose to abstain, you'll be in the majority. A survey showed that well over half of high schoolers are waiting. Nobody's saying it's easy. Sticking with your decision absolutely requires a supportive partner and friends who share your goals.
I'm just scared. What? I'm just scared that it's my fault and I'm afraid of what happened to us if it is.
Why are you scared? You know that I love you. Baby, we're in this together. You can't get rid of me.
Tanya's husband left her when he found out.
I know, but I'm not Tanya's husband.
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't. My necklace.
I'll buy you another one. It's just a necklace. It's an old one at that.
It's more than that. I've had it since junior high. My grandmother gave it to me. I wear it every time I need good luck.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But listen, even if this pendant doesn't work, I'll be there for you. You're the only one for this guy. You're all this guy wants.
What do girls want? What do girls want from a guy?
Well, Irish guys care a little more about what we think, not just how we look all the time.
Yeah, and they're supposed to respect you and love you for who you are, no matter what, right? Bianca, did you and Tony have another fight?
Did they go this west?
Jolie?
Well, if I was ever going to get serious with a guy, he would have to be socially aware. He'd have to have the same goals and views in politics. He'd have to be a good listener. You know, someone I can really trust and confide in. He's got to love his mama. Gotta love basketball. Hate baseball. Forget about it. This list is too long.
And you forgot to mention that he has to only like real Christmas trees as a condition.
Yeah, you see, that just goes to show I'll never get serious with a guy.
Well, I would say he's got to make me laugh, love me for me, and I really want someone who's in it for the long haul.
All right. So guys, tell me what you want.
Get in, get some, get out.
Nick, what do you want?
Oh, no, I want some of the same things. You know, I'm looking for someone special. Not someone that's just a good time at a tailgate party. You know, someone I can click with. Someone I have something in common with. Someone that I can have a future with.
Nice. Okay, Jerome?
Hey, you know, apparently, unlike some people in this room, no, all I want right now is a good time. I mean, that's what it's all about. It doesn't need to be all complicated. I mean, what can I say? The girls love me. They want a little tango time. That's all right by me. No, really. I mean, why mess it up calling it love? I mean, we're just starting college, man. I mean, I can wait till we're old, right? We're only young once.
Okay, wait a minute. Jerome, is it? Okay, Jerome, did you not hear a word that she said? What about getting an STI? Or what about giving others an STI? What, do you think you're immune?
Hey, I ain't got no STIs. I don't mess with those who do.
Okay, what about your little fan club? Do you ask them? Or for that matter, what about you?
Hey, girl, I'd know if I was infected, all right? Why don't you get off my case?
Trust me, dog. You won't find me anywhere near your little case.
Okay. Thank you, Jolie. Jerome, thank you. Okay, I want to take a moment to change the subject. I want to talk to the girls for a minute. I hope that you all know that you have a lot to offer as individuals, so you should believe in yourselves. And Jolie, lists are great. You know what you want. That's awesome. But the kind of guys that you girls are describing, you're not going to attract by having sex. In fact, once sex enters a relationship, the focus changes from exploring your personality to gratifying physical desires. Look, if a guy's interested in knowing who you are, he'll take the time to find out. And if he really loves you, he's going to want what's best for you, not try to pressure you. You deserve that. So find out his real motives.
My man tells me he loves me, and I believe him.
How sweet.
That's great, Bianca. We'd all like to believe that everybody means what they say. But the truth is, did you know that your body releases hormones when you have sex, and these hormones give you a sense of attachment to your partner? So maybe ordinarily we'd see the warning signs of a dangerous relationship and get out, but because of this sense of attachment, we're blinded and we can't see clearly. So hormones can prevent you from correctly judging your partner's motives.
Yeah, but does it have the same effect on guys?
Yeah. But their hormones also knock them out shortly after.
That makes sense.
Sorry. Okay, well, we got to wrap this up. My goal for this session was for you to be more well-informed. You now know that STIs can be transmitted through all 3 types of sex, and some, like herpes, HPV, and syphilis, through just genital contact. You know that symptoms can be hard to detect and sometimes non-existent. You know that consequences of infections can be as serious as lifelong breakouts, infertility, and even death. And you know that abstinence is your only foolproof prevention. So know the facts. Tell your friends. And think for yourself, because no one else can. I never want you to have to say, if I had only known.
Stephanie, Jeff, I'm sorry. You are infertile. You have obvious damage to your fallopian tubes.
There must be something we can do, right? Some sort of treatment or surgery?
There's got to be like some fertility drugs or something that she can take.
We can make no promises. According to your records, you were treated for chlamydia on 2 occasions, 1 year apart. It's likely the chlamydia made its way to your fallopian tubes, where it caused an infection. The antibiotics you were given killed the chlamydia, but the infection had already caused the formation of scar tissue, which now blocks your tubes. Eggs from your ovary can't get to your uterus. I'm so sorry. Take a few minutes.
I'm so sorry.
It's gonna be all right.
In the midst of the storm that day, which brought me remorse and loss, I realized I already had the one thing I really needed. A love that puts on sneakers.